Titles, go.
Dental drama.
In a bad way.
Inches from the cup.
Chug your steak.
Smoke a tuna sandwich.
The meat probe.
Naked bongos.
That wasn't gauze.
Space toilets.
Paul's mom. The wino.
Twirling his hammer.
Kevin ratted you out. All right, guys, go.
Warning. What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Geek Pod. I'm your host, Paul.
I'm Hugh.
I'm Corbs.
And I'm Kev.
I still can't look at everybody the way I'm supposed to. I screw up every time.
Never will.
Never. No
Don't
matter
even
what.
Try. Don't even try.
And I try to stack the deck in my favor and put everybody in the exact same order every week now, and it's not working out for me any way you look at it. But guys, what's got you geeked?
Oh, I have to save what's really got me geeked for the gaming segment. Otherwise, I have nothing for that. I will tell you what doesn't have me geeked, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. As we know, I spoke about my dental issues previously, and there's been some lovely drama since the last time we recorded. Check this out. So Friday, I go in, and they shave around the tooth to prep for a crown. He filled 2 other cavities, so all my cavities are filled. And he shaved around the tooth, and everyone knows what they do when they prep for a crown, because I didn't know this. Okay. Corbs, you didn't shake your head. No. Okay. So basically, this is your tooth. What they do is they shave around it and make it smaller so that they can create a fake tooth to put on top of it. So there's room, next to your other teeth. And so it's really, really strange, because afterwards you have a smaller shaved down tooth. I assume that takes all the enamel off and everything. So he does that, and then he takes a mold, and they use that mold. They send it off to get the permanent crown made, but they give you a plastic one. So they basically put some stuff in the mold, stick it back in your mouth, and then they pull it out, and he takes it out, and he cuts the other side teeth off of it and forms a plastic fake crown temporarily. And they put some stuff on it and stick it on your tooth. So I'm like, this is weird, but okay. I go home. I get home. I left the dentist a little after 11 o'clock. A few minutes after 5, just after they close, while I'm eating dinner, the crown breaks in half, and I almost swallow it.
Perfect.
And pulling it out and getting the food off it crumbled further. So, I looked up online. There's no, put Vaseline on the inside and put it back in your tooth. There was no saving it. It was done. So I went the entire weekend. Now, mind you, recovering from dry socket on one side of my mouth and a tooth that is shaved down and sensitive to everything on the other side of my mouth. It was awful. Like eating, drinking, anything that wasn't body temperature, I struggled with.
Mm-hmm.
I got through it. Monday, they opened it up. I'm like, listen, it came off. Can I come in and get another one put on? They got me in about 2:00 in the afternoon. Put another one on. This one feels a bit more substantial. I couldn't really tell when I was there because sometimes the stuff they use gets on it and it's a little rough. There is a few jagged edges on this thing. And now the side of my tongue is all ripped up. So I'm still in the same position, just a different kind of pain. It's very, very frustrating. And hopefully midweek next week, the permanent crown will be in and I can finally put this all to bed. But yeah, tooth problems suck.
They do. Yeah, it's no fun. But you said that's on the side at least where they're doing this to you?
On the side, it's one of my molars.
Okay. Mine was dead center right in the front on the bottom row.
They're right there where there's
Big
no
tooth.
tooth.
No, that's all right here.
Is that an implant or a crown?
Crown.
So did you lose it? Have you always had that tooth missing?
For quite a while, but most of the time when I'm not going, you don't see it. So
I was just wondering.
Have you ever had your crown slip off or any issues with it?
no, I'm good.
No, for real.
Yeah, no, I was lucky. Thankfully, I didn't have that problem.
Well, I mean, your permanent one. Though,
Nope.
That's
It's been great for years.
Because the dentist told me, he's like, well, I'm not going to tell you they can't come off, but it generally doesn't, but it could happen. And since I had one come off already, even though it was the plastic one, now I'm fucking paranoid.
Right.
I'm
no.
gonna get this all done and
Mine survived everything, like all my stupidity, playing football, all that stuff. So far, so good for more than a decade because I had it done.
all right.
Yeah, so far. I had it done before
My
the
dad's
kids.
had a few crowns come off. Just to forewarn you, he has 2 crowns, and I think one of them he's got to go to the dentist this week to have it replaced.
Oh, great. I'm fucked.
So there you go.
I just go the route of having them yanked out. That's
the problem is you need teeth to chew your fucking food with, and so I kind
put it in a blender.
Buy a blender. I was just gonna say, buy a blender. Buy one of the little ninja things. You put it all in there.
I have one, but you know what? I'm not putting rare steak in a blender, and I'm not going.
Chug your steak. Come on.
Gum it.
Not going the rest of my life without eating steak and ribs and things like that. So.
I mean, you can do it like birds and have someone pre-chew your food for you.
There you
You
go.
all fucking suck, you know that? Fuck you all.
Oh,
three
you
of
you might find a friend somewhere that would do that for you.
Not me.
No one of us.
Not it.
Or I can just get a crown like I did.
There you go.
I mean, this is all precipitated on Corbs basically saying, just yank them out, be a man,
I've had 4 of them pulled, so.
See, I don't have them pulled. Mine just drop out of my face.
Oh,
So
No, mine gotta get cavities in them. First one I had a cavity that it got an abscess in it, which is not fun. So I called the dentist on a Saturday afternoon, and he's like, well, I'm just about finished up, so if you can get here in the next 20 minutes, I'll pull it for you. I'm like, it was right up the street from my mom's place. I'm like, I'll be there in 5. I walked in, he's like, all right.
get the tools ready.
Sat down, numbed up my face. And 20 minutes later, I was walking out of there with a prescription and a wad of gauze in my mouth. He's like, have a good weekend.
That wasn't gauze.
can we change the subject?
Yes, please.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
Corbs, what's got you geeked?
Well, for me, it is. So I was at a golf tournament over last weekend, and it was for a buddy of mine. He works for SRC, and so we all played in it. The 4 of us that normally play golf together played in it. So it was me, 3 iron, and my buddy Mark and Sean. So it's 2 Seans, Mark and Justin. We all played in it. So when you come off the 9th hole, there was a putting contest.
Okay.
All right. So we started on the 9th hole. So we were the first group up on the 9th hole. So that means we're the first group to hit the putting green for this contest. You got 2 putts to make it. So Mark went first, barely missed. I think he was like 12, 18 inches away from the cup. My buddy Sean went next. He missed. My buddy Justin went next. So I dropped down the 2 balls for me to putt, and I proceeded to knock the very first shot into the cup.
Nice.
So the girl that was doing the contest looked at me and said, well, you just made my job a lot fucking easier for the day. He goes, to win the putting contest, you have to make it. So there was a second shot that you had to putt if you made it. So I made the first putt, putted the second one, and ended up 24 inches to the cup. So you had to make the putt, and then you had to beat 24 inches, and nobody did. And
nice.
Oh, nice.
Can't see it.
Move in front of your face.
Oh, wow.
Put it in front of your face.
Nice.
Nice.
Snap me a good picture of that and text it to me. That'll be one of the teases this week.
Okay. So yeah, if I very first group on the putting contest, 4th guy up putting makes the putt and wins the contest.
Nice.
Nice.
So,
That it makes me think that it should have been the victory music from Happy Gilmore dropping in right there. But
and
maybe it will be.
The best part about it is I don't know, Paul. You didn't see my golf clubs when we played that day at my aunt's place. We used Justin's clubs, so you haven't.
Yeah, I just saw the broken one. Yep.
So my grandparents, when they were alive, went to Scotland.
Nice.
Okay, and they played at St. Andrews, which is the oldest golf course on the face of the earth.
Wow.
And when they were there, they bought a wooden putter.
Ooh.
For me to use.
Sweet.
And I've used that wooden putter for the last 20 years. And I still use it to this day. And everybody's got these putters, pings and all this stuff. And I still will use a wooden putter. And I still putt with it fantastic. And everybody's like, you should try a different putter. I'm like, why?
Right. Why?
I fucking make every putt that I hit. So, yeah, so I use a putter that's an old wooden putter, like old school 1800s putter.
Wow.
That was it's right from the old course in St. Andrews. It's right from the golf course.
That's awesome.
It's not something they bought in a store someplace. It's actually from St. Andrews golf course in Scotland.
They cut the tree down right there, and they
Yep.
formed it right on the greens.
Yep.
The greens that are built over the bones of my ancestors.
Mine too, apparently.
So yeah, that's what's got me. That was got me geeked. It was pretty funny that I made it very first putt that I hit, dropped it right in, no problem. So
That's neat.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Is that your first major award?
No.
Oh.
No, I just won a golf tournament in July, so that's not my first major award.
Oh. But was it for Gile?
What?
What?
Sorry. Really? A Christmas story? It's in a major award for Gile. It must be Italian. Well,
I got you now. I understand now.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
That's a reference I picked right up on.
I'm good.
Maybe you need to do that movie pretty soon now.
Maybe.
Please. Kevo, what's got you geeked?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got my grill working again. I had a little problem with my pellet grill. My controller board went bad. I've got a Pit Boss Rancher XL. Not a high-end grill, but just a good-sized barrel, pellet grill. Big hopper on it, so you can do a lot of stuff at once on it. The one thing I've been missing on it, though, is the ability to both control it remotely and control the temperature all the way across the grill. So it's got a big grate on it. The fire's in the center. So the way it works is the fire heats up this metal pan that spreads the heat, or it's supposed to spread the heat out evenly across the grill. But you don't really have any way to monitor that temperature across the grill. You've got a barrel temp sensor that sits on the door. You've got the single RTD sensor on the one end, but you don't really have any way to know what the temperature is in the center of the grill. So I bought a new controller to replace the one that went bad instead of calling a Pit Boss, which I heard has got really good support, and they would probably just send me a new one. I may do that anyway, just to have a spare. But I went and found a drop-in replacement that's got Wi-Fi and Bluetooth in it, and it's also got it's a PID controller. So that basically means is instead of 25 or 50 degree increments of temperature, which is what the old one had, this one is in 5-degree increments of temperature. So it's got a little bit more fine control to it. And I can do it all Wi-Fi, and it's got 3 probe connectors, plus it's got the internal. So it uses the internal RTD that was already built in, which I replaced also just in case that was bad. And I've got 2 more probes that I can put in, one in the center of on the grates and one on the far end of the grates. So now I'll know exactly what my temperature is across my entire grill. I can keep better control over it. So when I'm smoking something, smoking a chicken, a brisket, whatever, a couple of different things, I can better control that temperature all the way across. I can monitor that with the Wi-Fi controller I have because I've got an app on my phone, and I've also got wireless meat probes that I have in a different app. So between the 2 of them, I can really very finely measure and monitor all my temperatures, so that when I want to smoke something, I can control it and maintain it very, very well. The other cool thing about the controller is that I can set it up. I can actually program it so that I can say 4 hours at 200 degrees, 2 hours at 200 or 400 degrees, and then finish off 30 minutes at 550 degrees. So you can put that kind of control into it, and it'll just do that for you. Obviously, when it's doing that, it's only using the one temperature sensor, the one RTD sensor that's built in. But I could always go in and I could, as long as I set myself an alert, to look at it, I could go in and I could change that. So when the temperature changes, if it's not quite right, I can change that. But I watched it. I actually turned it on. I fired it up, and I watched it maintain 200-degree temps, and I watched it fluctuate. I watched the board on the machine, and I watched the on the grill, and I watched my Wi-Fi based app, my app on my phone, and I watched it fluctuate within a degree. So it would drop to 199 degrees, it would come back up to 200, and then it would go up a little bit, like 201. Whereas before, it wasn't doing that. I mean, I set it for 200 degrees, and it'd spike up to 225, and it would drop down to 190. It just didn't have this finite control to it. So it's a much, much better controller. And I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. I did some really nice upgrades. So I did all that. Plus I had originally ordered a new auger motor. There was nothing wrong with the auger motor. It worked fine, but I wanted to go to a 3 RPM motor, which would basically allow you to change the temperature quicker. The quicker the auger turns, the more pellets move down the channel and all that. So you could essentially go from a lower temperature to a higher temperature much quicker. The motor I got was DOA, so that didn't get put in. But I also ordered a bracket. My grill didn't come with a bracket for the auger motor. And what happens is a lot of times, some of the lower end grills, and Pit Boss is one of those models that is really not considered a high end grill. It's okay. It's off the shelf parts they build it with. Luckily for me, because it made it very easy to modify it and make upgrades. But the auger motor just kind of sits there, and it actually does this little floppy thing. It kind of moves around a little bit. So this bracket sets it in place, and it's going to help it with the direct drive a little bit better, and it should help the motor last a little bit longer. Plus, I may at some point get another motor for this thing just to get it upgraded. So very happy about that, because when the grill stopped working, I was in a bad way. I haven't had many problems with this. Any of the problems I've had with the grill so far have been my own fault. I left pellets in it one time when it was raining and I didn't have a cover on it. Water intruded into the, actually not into the pellet box, but it got between the pellet box and the grill. So it got down into the auger channel, and some of the pellets got wet. So then they solidified in there, and that's a pain in the ass. You got to take it all apart and you got to pull the auger out and you just clean it all out. It's easy to clean out once you get it apart, but getting it apart is the fun part. So that kind of problem I created myself, but it was a learning process. But this has been a great upgrade for me. I know Hugh, you've talked about having a pellet grill and how much you like it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love mine, and
Oh yeah.
not having it available to me when I wanted to use it was killing me. But I've got it back, and I'm really, really happy with the upgrades I made. And I'm not done. I may just go to the next level, the next stage. The next stage would be a Raspberry Pi based controller that would really, it would make use of multiple temperature sensors if I wanted to use them much better, because you've got all those GPIO pins on the Raspberry Pi, and you could use all those, or you could use them to do this, and you could, you know, have multiple sensors. And the Raspberry Pi would be obviously be Wi-Fi, it would be Bluetooth, it would have all that. It would give you a little web page you could use to monitor all this. But there's a lot more you can do with it. You can, you know, what you put your recipe in there, and you tell it, say, okay, these are my temperatures across the grill. It can really do a great job, including monitoring those wireless meat probes. So you could do all that. You could monitor the grill temperature, even the box temperature, grate temperature, and you could monitor the internal temperature. So that would be the ultimate upgrade, which I probably won't do because it's a lot of work. And
Are you using a grill grate on that for searing?
A grill grate.
Are you using a grill grate for searing?
Searing. So searing, I don't. I haven't really done a lot with that. About the closest I get is when I pull. So this is the extent of the searing that I do. I'll do a steak or something like that, and you know, if I'm not gonna, you know, leave it in for a long period of time, I'll bring the steak up to 100 degrees, take it off the grill, take it inside, let it rest. While it's resting, I'll bring the temperature of the grill up. Now, and I don't use a special grate, but I'll bring the temperature of the grill up 550, you know, something like that, whatever the peak of the grill is. It's really not that high. The pellet grills don't really get that hot. Although this new controller is supposed to help me get a little bit warmer. Bring it up, and then take the steak in, you put it in, and you put it in on one side for a couple of minutes, and you put it on the other side. Once it gets up to, you know, internal temperature, I'm looking at, you know, 148, 150 degrees, whatever it is. And then it doesn't sear it, but it does blacken it just a bit. I have looked into searing grates, and I haven't made the decision yet. I was actually thinking about getting a propane grill to do searing. A lot of guys have a small propane grill on the side, and they'll do that because you can get them really hot. So I've been thinking about that, but I haven't really gone that far yet. I'm not.
Let me give you a recipe. I'm not going to actually do the recipe, but something you can try. I tried this past week, which was amazing. Smoked chicken Alfredo. I smoked the chicken breasts, then brought them in the house, made my Alfredo sauce, chopped it. It was fucking delicious. Nice. Oh my God.
Nice. Hold that thought. I'm going to go grab something. Okay. I'm only going to be a second. I just got to run downstairs because I got to show you the other thing that I got for the grill. I just got to show this to you. You're not going to believe this. Since you said smoking, just give me 2 seconds.
Corbs, you put your hand up. Did you have something to say?
I was waving to my son. Oh. He just got out of the shower.
So Kev's gone. We can talk about him.
What a dick.
All right. Sorry about that. I just got to show you this. Have you ever seen one of these?
Yes, I have.
A hole on the end, solid on this end, but it's all got holes in it, right? And it's hexagonal. You know what it is?
Yep. Yeah, it's a smoker tube. Isn't it amazing? I think they call it
something. It's a cold smoker.
Oh.
So what you do? Well, you can use it for cold smoking. You can use it to add smoke on a regular grill also. So you could use it hot. You could use it cold. But the reason I got it was for cold smoking. And listen to this. You fill it with pellets. So you fill it all the way with pellets. You light them, and then you just lay it in the grill on its side. Cold grill. Grill's not on. You lay it in the grill. This is gonna freaking blow your mind. Then you take whatever you want to smoke. Maybe it's sliced cheese. Maybe you want to pour some whiskey into a shallow dish or pan, and you put it in there with it, and you let the smoke just roll over it. And then you get this most amazing smoky flavor in whatever it is you want to smoke. And it could be absolutely anything. And there's recipes that come with this. I bought this on Amazon. There's recipes that come with this. They give you all sorts of ideas. Mainly it's the amount of time, right? How thinly you slice the cheese, or whatever the meat is you're using, or whatever the other. You could do fruit, you could do vegetables, or like you want to do the chicken. You know, maybe you cook the chicken, you put it in there, and you can just smoke it afterwards. Put a pie in there and smoke the pie before you eat it. Whatever it is you want to do. absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait. I can't freaking wait to get somebody to try some of this stuff. It's mind blowing. And this one was like $10. I mean, come on.
I'm gonna smoke a tuna sandwich.
Right? I mean, anything, really, anything. So, all right. So, yeah, I'm a little jazzed over my pellet grill right now. So, there you go. That's all I got.
I don't think I can match his enthusiasm.
Sorry.
That's okay. But I am pretty excited for this. Kylie's first competition is this Sunday for her Ninja Warrior stuffs. So this is the beginning of her season. This is the real deal. We're going down to Buffalo where it's at a gym called Build a Machine Fitness. Banff. And that's what it's referred to in our little ninja world here.
That's funny.
And
Do they even know?
I don't know, and I'm not going to be the guy to ask.
Is anybody colored blue there? Long
oh, look at that!
I'm looking for Kurt.
Yeah.
Is there a Kurt here?
Most likely in a sport like that, I'm sure there's a Kurt.
Yeah. But is it Kurt with a K?
Right. There we go. Probably not.
How high can he jump?
But yeah, I'm pretty jazzed. It's I mean, because COVID protocols, we can't bring 1 million people, so it's just her and I going down for it. It should be a really cool time. Thankfully, her division doesn't start until like 2 p.m, so we don't have to leave at the ass crack of dawn to get to Buffalo and get her registered and everything. But I'm psyched. She's psyched. Probably until she opens those doors and sees what it's really like, and then we're probably both gonna shit ourselves. Gonna try and record the whole thing if they'll let me close enough to get it. So maybe I'll throw that up on the Geek Pod page for everyone to see. But I mean, this is what, 1.5 years worth of hard work for her that will actually get to run a full course. So this is
awesome.
Exciting.
That's awesome.
And there will be no running for me. Not until we finally nail this down for us to go and do this ourselves.
No running.
Yeah.
Like jogging.
Brisk walking.
Or like prancing.
Sitting in a chair watching and drinking a beer, more like.
It makes me wonder if they'll let us bring alcohol in when we do this. Well, we'll find out.
I'm guessing.
I'll have a water bottle.
Yes. As long as they're solid, they really won't know until they get near us.
It's right by Wild Wings. I mean, seriously.
Very true. Very true.
Go
And
there.
the beer store branching out is 2 doors down.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what's got me excited. I can't wait. I'm excited for her to do this. But yeah, that's about it. Guys, what are we playing here?
Now I can get geeked. Now, my wife says to me a few days ago, she goes, "We're going to start dieting in October." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck, not again. Here we go. Up and down, up and down." And she's like, "Well, we need to figure something out, though, because we can't ever exercise." And I start mulling it around, and I come back around to an idea that I've had multiple times, and I finally pulled the trigger. And I'm just going to show you the box of what arrived today at my house.
Nice. It
Dude.
disappeared on us, but it's an Oculus.
Yeah.
Quest 2. Now, I got to tell you, a lot of people have complained about these because they say, "Oh, you got to sign into Facebook, and if you get banned, then your machine stops working," which is kind of some bullshit. But here's the thing: I mean, unless you're saying the Holocaust didn't happen or Hitler did nothing wrong, I mean, I don't know how you get banned on Facebook. I don't even post shit on there. Now there are people that post everything from every single little thing they do, including taking a shit. Maybe if you're that verbose, there's a chance something could happen. There you go, Kev. But I don't even post on Facebook anymore. I don't care. So I haven't had a chance to play around with it a whole lot. You notice I'm sans glasses tonight because I had to throw in contacts. I'm going to get some lenses for it. But I got it so that we could start do exercising virtually. There's stuff like Beat Saber, but there's Supernatural, which is a very popular fitness program. What?
Oh,
really
not
good.
that supernatural.
No,
Oh,
I've heard
because I was
really
gonna
good things
say
about that.
Corbs would say he
Yeah.
would play it, but he probably would never get
but he
around
never
to it.
would. But and
It's true. It's
there's
true.
most of them have subscriptions involved, but that's fine. My plan it was to get this and see how we take to it, because I mean I have the PSVR, but you know what? I never play it because it's such a pain in the ass to set up. My new entertainment center, I can't put the camera on top of the TV, so I have to put it above or below. Cannot get things to work right, and I just got so frustrated with it. This is as easy as picking up your phone and playing. I mean, once you have everything set up, you've downloaded your games. I mean, you turn it on, you throw it on, boom, you're there. It has hand tracking now. You can set the controllers down, and in some games and in the interface, you're just moving your hands, and it's
wow.
showing hands too. I mean, it's amazing. Really excited about this. My plan was to buy this one, have my wife go, yes, this is a good idea. Picking up a second one relatively quickly. Yeah, I have a GameStop card and it had a 0 balance, might as well do some damage. But my thought is that, you know, if we both have one of these, you know, we can exercise together. I mean, you can play Beat Saber together. You can do a lot of stuff with other people who have Oculus accounts. I know it's not going to be as impactful as a real workout at the gym, but it's going to be a lot more impactful than sitting on my ass eating cookies and watching Caribbean Life on Discovery Plus when I could be exercising. So, and along with that, I get to play cool stuff like Vader Immortal and The Climb,
Right.
and I'm really excited about this. In fact, I don't even want to be here right now. I want to be playing that, but for the third week in a row, there's something that I could be doing that's actually more interesting than this. And then that doesn't happen too often. So it's kind of weird.
So if we come back, so if you see him later on and he's got the Oculus glasses on, you know,
Right.
I thought about that, but you know, she might actually want to play it. So I left
Right.
it out there.
Nice.
But that's what I'm playing.
That's
Cool. Very cool. I'm envious. I was checking them out recently too, but I can't get the okay to pull the trigger on a purchase like that.
just do it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, dude, here's the thing. It's $300. Okay. That's not an unsubstantial amount of money, but you probably spend close to that on groceries every week.
Especially in my house.
Yeah. You know, I look at this is what I do. I mean, usually if I want to make a big purchase like that, usually I do it on my PayPal card, but I mean, we get paid twice a month. Twice a month, I throw $100 at whatever the big purchase is. Within 2 or 3 months, I'm back down to where I was.
Nice.
So it's if now if we were talking, you know, something bigger, like we're talking about getting a hot tub, that's a whole different story. But for little toys like this, I don't think it's not that far out of the realm of possibility. It's probably easier for me because, you know, we don't go out. I don't get coffee, don't have to buy lunch, things like that. Whereas a lot of people have those expenses.
Breakfast pizza, that'll get you.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, and also Christmas is coming up.
pizza.
Yeah. Me too.
Why don't you make some yourself? You can smoke it.
Dude, we do pizzas on the grill.
Nice. Corbs, are you playing anything other than fucking golf?
No,
No. All right.
I still haven't finished. I still haven't finished the holes either. So
You're not going to. This is going to be an ongoing thing.
it is.
Now I did, and I've already ruined this for Hugh. I did pick up a game. I picked up WWE 2K19. Picked it up Sunday. I was sitting at Kylie's competition Ninja Jam, where it's basically a 2-hour open play for them to go hang out, goof off. Decided to do a little checking. GameStop had a used copy in stock, so I went out, got in the vehicle, and drove to Auburn to pick it up, and got to fire it up last night for real. Started the career mode. My guy's a fuck up, clearly. If you've went through the career mode on this at all, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to give it away in case anyone else wants to do it, but basically it looks like things are going well for you, and then they're not. But it's pretty cool. I just realized how to do the face scan stuff, so I'm looking at that. Next week I'll probably get a picture of GeekPod Paul in the WWE universe.
And you still have the picture of me, so if you want to,
yes, we'll throw them up together. Yes. But so far it's pretty cool. I understand what you're talking about now with the pinfall thing. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Not my favorite thing in the world. not even a little bit. But I'm still getting the hang of it. But like I said, I only got like an hour to play last night. And again, I was just like you, Hugh. I could be playing that instead of being here, but no, there's after we're done with the show. But I'm digging it. Definitely glad I bought the 19 instead of the 20. I was reading up on that. That doesn't sound like it's a good time. That's a whole buggy mess, apparently.
It depends. Some people have no issues with it. It's weird. Nobody really knows what the problem is. The big thing is if you use a lot of created characters, that's where you have issues.
And I would, because that's gonna be my thing, is messing around, making characters. Yeah. Now, Kev, do you have any games you're playing or
nothing new,
okay.
nothing different. I haven't really. I downloaded a tower defense game today.
Nice.
Yeah, not really. Not that
No,
great.
okay. Well, in that case, then I think it's time for Kev's tabletop review.
And tonight's tabletop review is the newly released, well, not that new, it's 2020 released Dune Imperium. I picked this game. It's another one that I haven't yet played. I would like to check it out. Based on were they novelettes? Were they? It's a short series. Dune, the original books. Hold on a second. I can tell you exactly what this says. Game that finds inspiration in elements and characters from the Dune legacy, both the new film from Legendary Pictures and the seminal literary series. I guess that's what I was trying to remember.
Who can ever remember seminal? I mean, we never use that for anything.
From Frank Herbert, Brian Herbert, and Kevin J. Anderson. As a leader of one of the great houses of Landstrad, raise the banner and marshal your forces and spies. War is coming, and at the center of the conflict is Arrakis, Dune, the desert planet. So very cool looking gameplay. A lot of strategy involved. There's a card aspect to it. There's a like most board games, there's a card aspect to it. There's a multiple playing pieces that all have a very significant meaning. Some of the images on Board Game Geek actually show some miniatures. I don't believe they come with the game. They may be, and I haven't looked into this. They may be something somebody created themselves, or they may be add-ons that you can buy either through the game manufacturer or through another channel. I haven't looked into that, I'm sorry, but if you look on BoardGameGeek.com and you look for Dune Imperium, you'll see what I mean. This is one of their, on Board Game Geek, it's one of their top 20 games right now. I believe it's number 4 on their list. I'm not really sure how those lists rank. But has a difficulty, let's see, what does it say? 1 to 4 players, 60 to 120 minute playtime, ages 14 and up. Weight, which is the difficulty scale, is 2.95 out of 5, and that's a complexity rating. And again, go on to BoardGameGeek.com and take a look at what they mean by the complexity rating, and you'll get a better feel for whether or not it's something you really want to tackle. Again, as I said before, I typically look for games when in my mixed crowd group that I have. I typically look for games in the 1.5 to maybe 2.5 range or less than 2.5. Actually, I don't think I've actually played a game that high of a complexity rating with my wife. It's just a matter of if it's got to be relatively simple to get into so that we can play it quickly and get into it quickly and finish in a relatively decent amount of time. Very, very interesting game. And I would suggest if you're interested in something, if you're interested in the movie, you're interested in the book series, this looks like something that might actually carry that theme onto your dining room table and allow you to kind of live the whole Dune environment a little bit in your home.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. All right. Well, I think that's a good time to kick it to commercial break, and we'll come back and head right into the news. Stick with us, guys. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a keyback issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore, located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking. Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics.
Before you wrap your head around what Elon Musk means by challenges with space toilets, here's the news. First up, did he really just say that? Daniel Craig came out this week and said he doesn't think a woman should play James Bond. He followed that with there should simply be better parts for women and actors of color. Why should a woman play James Bond when there should be parts just as good as James Bond, but for a woman? Somehow, for the first time ever, the internet did not break. Most of the comment sections agreed with him, and no cancel campaign has begun. Did I Mandela effect shift again? Aren't we supposed to hate him now? I'm confused. Next up, that didn't age well. Despite the news item from a few weeks ago saying that you should let Ric Flair do what he wants, apparently that is already the case. Vice TV's Dark Side of the Ring did a program last week on the infamous plane ride from hell. During this trip, Flair is said to have cornered a stewardess while naked and made her touch his penis. Now, there's a lot more to digest in this story. Lots of bad stuff happened on that. I mean, I don't know if we're going to touch on it later because I know Corbs watches the show, so I don't want to go too deep. But right now, Ric Flair is fighting the court of public opinion. You know, his Car Shield campaign has been suspended. He's denied the claim, but it looks to me like this might just level Space Mountain. And finally, look who's Bakula. Scott Bakula said this week there are very significant conversations being had about the reboot/revival of Quantum Leap. Now, you know, he did go into, you know, a little bit of detail, not a lot. He did say that, you know, it's just preliminary talks. He doesn't really know who's going to be involved, whether it's going to be a continuation or a reboot. I just want to throw something out there for the producers of the show. I suggest they try finishing the original series first. I think that's a great fucking place to start. And that's the news, kids. Now, remember, if I say you should get vaccinated, I mean you should get vaccinated. Makes sense, right? Everybody understands what I just said when I say you should get vaccinated? Guys?
Yeah.
Kevin? All right. A Breitbart writer claimed this week that the organized left is using reverse psychology to trick Trump supporters into not getting vaccinated. So they say Democrats are tricking them into not getting vaccinated by telling them to get vaccinated because they want them all to die. Now, I quote, the writer here. If I wanted to use reverse psychology to convince people not to get a life-saving vaccination, I would do exactly what Howard Stern and the left are doing, John Nolte wrote. I would bully and taunt and mock and ridicule you for not getting the vaccine, knowing that the human response would be, hey, fuck you, I'm never getting vaccinated. And why is that a perfectly human response? Because no one ever wants to feel like they are being bullied, ridiculed, mocked, or pushed into doing anything. End quote. So they basically think the left is trying to convince the right that they can own the libs by not getting vaccinated. But if they had got vaccinated to begin with, this would all be over. And no one would be mocking them out of frustration for dragging this issue out further than a first-year drama student with an 8-ball locked in a bathroom with Lin-Manuel Miranda. Now, that's enough stupid for 1 week, I think. Paul?
In other news, the least used letter in the English alphabet is Q. Back to you, Corbs.
I got to ask a question. I'm
Yes.
sorry, Corbs. I got to
That's
ask a
fine.
question. How can Scott Bakula go from NCIS
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans back into Quantum Leap? How does he do that? You just can't do that.
Why can't he do that?
No, he's not the same guy anymore.
Wasn't he also a starship captain?
Yeah, he was.
He was.
Okay.
He's an actor. He can be anyone he wants. Paul, Kev, do you know what actors do?
Listen, this
they
is the
act-
same. It's the same conversation we've had before. There are some actors who are who they are, regardless of what they play. Scott Bakula is kind of he's this old guy that is kind of quirky, and that's who he is. And I don't think he's that Quantum Leap guy anymore.
Well, I mean, they if they want to have it be some sort of continuation, he may not be like it was before. You know, it might not be Sam Beckett jumping around. He may just be involved. I mean, that's what we do with a lot of these reboots.
Okay.
That could be kind of cool.
I think that they first of all, there is absolutely no reason to completely start it over. I mean, just based on the concept of the show, it doesn't need to be started over. All they need to do is find a way to continue it.
I got it.
Okay.
NCIS LA was just Sam Beckett inhabiting this guy.
Wait, wasn't it? Or I thought it was Orleans.
It was New Orleans.
Oh, New
Yeah.
Orleans, New Orleans. Well, I said LA.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I said
That is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant.
I'm a genius. All right, you can have
are.
it, Corbs. I'm sorry.
So confused. Oh my god. Oh, you guys are killing me today. All right, so I guess it's my turn, right?
It's your turn to do the classic movie review.
All right, so today we're going to do a movie that I really enjoy. It's called Dazed and Confused. All right, so it's May 28th, 1976. It's the last day of the academic year at Lee High School. Many of the kids are skipping class, smoking weed, thinking about the big keg party for the senior students at Kevin Pickford's house tonight. As his unwitting parents are going away for the evening. High on the mind of star football quarterback Randall Pink Floyd is the pledge the coach wants all the returning players to sign, vowing that they won't do drugs, drink during the summer break so that they do not jeopardize their upcoming championship season. Pink is the only player who has yet to sign. He who is contemplating, not if only because he feels it would impinge upon his individual rights. Today is also the traditional hazing day where seniors traumatize the freshmen. Most all the freshmen, Mitch Kramer is the biggest target, if only because of his not so innocent request by his popular upper class sister Jody to her male classmates. These thoughts and activities continued as the day turns into night, as the keg party does not end quite as planned, although the perspectives may change as the activities progress. All right. Now I'm going to let you know. Just want you to take this into consideration. This is the cast that's in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jason London, Joey Lauren Adams, Mila Jovovich,
Oh,
Roy Cochran, Adam Goldberg, Cole Hauser, Ben Affleck, Parker Posey, Matthew McConaughey,
oh.
and I found out doing a little research today that Renee Zellweger is actually in this movie too.
Yep.
She only in it for a brief second, but just think about all those actors that are in there. Joey Lauren Adams, Ben Affleck went on to star in Kevin Smith movies. Matthew McConaughey is obviously the biggest actor to come out of that movie.
Oh, I'd have to. Well, yeah, he's big, but I'd say Mila is right up there. I mean, if you're talking to sci-fi fans,
If you're talking box office too, I mean, she may not have the A-list cred, but
yeah.
I mean, every single one of those Resident Evil movies made bank.
Yeah.
Oh, and who can forget Fifth Element? Come on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, true.
I've been trying.
She's up there. I mean, you got between her, Ben Affleck, and Matthew McConaughey, those are the three biggest stars that come out of this movie. This was Matthew McConaughey's very first on-screen talking part.
No shit.
Really?
Yep. And I saw an interview with him today as I was doing some more research. They actually asked him if his character in it, Wooderson, was modeled after Jim Morrison of the Doors. And it's actually not. It's actually modeled after his older brother, who he looked up to and idolized. So that's who he formed the character in, was his older brother. That's who he thought his older brother was at the time. So
nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dude, I remember this movie. I remember it like I saw it yesterday.
I saw it about 4 hours ago.
Yeah, I need to watch this again. I remember the cars. Oh my god, I remember this movie.
Is it me or is McConaughey just a really weird motherfucker? Like,
yes.
I think he's drunk 24/7, but he holds it and handles it like Frank Sinatra. So he comes off as all cool. I mean, there's like nobody on the planet like him right now.
So I mean, it's a weird movie. I mean, not a weird movie. It's a funny movie. You know, it's basically American Graffiti, but in the 70s. So it's kind of based around the same thing. But it's a great. I enjoy the movie, as you guys obviously know. I watched it a couple hours ago. It was on. I've watched it like 3 times in the past 4 days.
Wow,
nice.
So I absolutely I don't know. It's something about this movie. It's just in the line. Some of the lines in the movie, are hysterical. Matthew McConaughey's best line in the whole movie is, that's what I like about high school girls. I get older, they stay the same age. So,
he's probably still saying that.
He probably does. He probably does. And his catchphrase in the movie is "all right, all right, all right."
From that far back?
What?
That's like his thing. He's done that for years.
Yeah, he got that. He said he was talking with Rich Linklater. This was the interview I listened to today. He was talking to when he came out of the trailer after getting makeup and wardrobe and all that stuff. They kind of wanted to talk about his character. He said, "Okay, well, give me like 20 minutes." And he went for a walk and came back, and they, spitballed it again. And he decided that this is what he was going to do. And the guy's like, and Rich Linklater said, "All right, let's go ahead and film the scene." So it's the scene where he pulls up in the car at the Top Notch and he talks to the redhead in the other car. And he was kind of figuring out, well, what is Wooderson all about? It's about, cars, women, smoking weed, and drinking. And he was listening to the Doors as he was in the car as they were driving around the thing. And in one of the songs that Jim Morrison says, right in the middle of between 2 songs, he says, "All right, all right, all right," 4 times. He says. So he pulled up in the car, and the director said, so he's trying to figure out, what do I say? How do I start this off or whatever? And as he was thinking, as he's pulling up, the director goes, "Start." And he said, "All right, all right, all right." And that was it. That was his catchphrase for the whole thing. Because never thought about it until as I was
Right
pulling
there.
up. So, and you're right. He uses it all the time now.
Yeah, it's kind of his thing. That and
Yeah.
naked bongos.
So, yeah, again, I'm not going to give it any stars because you guys all know I like the movie. So,
Wait, you like it so much that you give it 0 stars?
250 million? I don't know. I watch it when it's on. I watch it every time it's on. Matter of fact, I try to find out when it's on sometimes.
Maybe we need to like help Corbs and explain what the 5th star in a 5-star rating means. Because I think that covers it. I could be wrong, but that's my understanding.
So yeah, it's a great, like I said, it's a great movie. I watch it whenever it's on. I still quote it, to this day. So I got
All right.
Great movie. God, I gotta see this again.
All right. That's the problem. Now we go back and hunt these movies back down.
Yeah.
I don't. None of them. Most of them I haven't even seen once. So.
Well, you know who did see this? Roger
Ebert.
Ebert. And he gives it 3 stars. Also, an interesting note, I told you guys this off mic. We might as well tell everybody. To the day when this episode comes out, this movie was released on September 24th, 1993. That is 28 years ago to the day today. So that was just a really cool, happy accident, unless you planned that, Corbs.
I did not.
You had a chance,
funny.
man.
I didn't plan it.
I know.
That's how I roll.
Well, our good buddy Roger Ebert, this is how he rolls about this movie. He says, the years between 13 and 18 are among the most agonizing in a lifetime. Yet we remember them with a nostalgia that blocks out much of the pain. This is a truth well understood by Dazed and Confused, Richard Linklater's film about the last day of school and the long night that follows it. The film is art crossed with anthropology. It tells the painful underside of American graffiti. In a small town, classes let out for the summer, and upperclassmen go looking for next year's new high school students so they can paddle them. An initiation inspired, I guess, by high school fraternities. We follow a large number of teenagers, boys and girls, popular and not, good and troubled, as they drive aimlessly around town, drink beer, hang out, trade adolescent life truths, lust, experiment with sex, fight, and in general, try to invest their passage into adulthood with a significance it does not seem to have. If I ever say these were the best years of my life, one of the kids says, remind me to kill myself. Linklater does not impose a plot on his material. Dazed and Confused, the title comes from a song, is not about whether the hero gets the girl or the nerd loses the virginity or the bully gets beaten up. It doesn't end in a tragic car crash, although it does end in some quiet moments of truth, which are not pressed too hard. The film's real inspiration, I think, is to depict some high school kids from the 1970s with such unblinking attention that we will realize how romanticized most movie teenagers are. A lot of these kids are asking, with Peggy Lee, is that all there is? Linklater's style is to introduce some characters, linger with them for a while, and then move on to different characters, eventually circling back so that all the stories get told simultaneously. His previous film, Slacker, from 1991, applied a more extreme version of this style to a large group of characters in Austin, Texas. The film would follow one character, then veer off to follow another so that we got glimpses of many lives. Here, in addition to limiting his characters and following through on their stories, he quietly introduces an observation. It is always the case in any group of males, students, fraternity brothers, military men, businessmen, that the ones most zealous about male bonding rituals, especially those involving drinking and quasi-sexual initiations, are the most troubled. They secretly feel like outsiders. As their targets, they choose misfits who are too dumb or too smart, who are different in any way, who do not reflect the mediocrity of the crowd. The kids who enforce the system usually turn out to be losers, and indeed part of their desperation, part of the reason they cling to status in teenage society, is they already feel themselves losing. The most pathetic character in Dazed and Confused is a graduate from a few years back, in his 20s now, who still hangs out with the kids because he senses that the status he had at 17 was his personal high point. This is a good film, but it would not cheer people up much at a high school reunion. he really doesn't even review the fucking movie.
That was some pretty deep shit, though.
Yes. And it's funny that he doesn't reference any of the actors by name.
He basically summed up the human condition for high school students in small towns.
Yeah. He says so much, but he never says if he really likes it.
He gave it 3 stars. That means it's an awesome movie, as far as I'm concerned.
For him, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, for him to do that for a comedy, yeah. He doesn't like many comedies.
No. Interesting note that he brought up Slackers. Interesting to me anyway, because that is the movie that inspired my good friend Kevin Smith to start his career. Like that's the movie that made him want to make Clerks. So
oh boy.
Yeah.
And look, he used some of the actors.
Right.
Why does it always come back to Kevin Smith?
Are you surprised?
Is that like the 6 degrees of Kevin Smith?
There we go. And hey, if Linklater would have used the other London brother, there would have been another USU alum. But
Listen, all Kevin games were fun. I'm just here to tell you.
That's true, Kevin.
All right. So
He's done.
In other news, Kevin, didn't you want to discuss about some sighting this past weekend?
I didn't know you wanted to do it on the podcast, so, but yeah, whatever.
Is that true?
I thought that's what you meant when you said remind me to tell you.
I was just going to tell the guys where I saw your mother over the weekend.
Yes, and this isn't a weird mom joke. He really did run into my mom over the weekend.
It could be a weird mom joke. It all depends on how I put it. No. We were up to the Lowville Cream Cheese Festival. My wife and I went up there and had to go up see what's going on, and they didn't have it last year, with everything else going on, or it didn't go on, I should say. We like to go around to different crafts tables and stuff, and then obviously you got the food tents and stuff going on, and you support your local businesses. And here's Tug Hill Wines, the new winery up on Tug Hill. They've got a booth, the whole easy up and everything, and there's these 3 ladies standing there ordering a case of wine, and one of them looks awful familiar. She turns around, looks right at my wife, and goes, "Weren't you at my son's party?"
Yep. So I don't know how long in between, but I got a text message saying, just ran into your mom. And that's when I asked him, where in Lowville did you run into her? Because I knew they were up camping for the weekend. So yeah. She called me on Sunday and said, "You're never gonna believe this." I said, "Kevin already ratted you out."
That's funny.
So it sounds like everybody had a good time though. I was a little concerned when Kevin told me that mom was buying wine, by the case, but
well, there were 3 ladies, and they had tasted all the wine that they had there, and they decided they wanted to buy a whole case. So I think I've had the Tug Hill Winery wines before. I've at least sampled them, so I know they've got some pretty good ones. So
nice.
I'm not surprised that they decided to spend some money with a local business. So
good. At least it was with a local business.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right. Unless we have anything else to touch on, I think we're going to throw it to commercial and come back and wrap this thing up. All right. Once again, stick with us, guys. We'll be right back. for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a keyback issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore, located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking. Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics.
And we're back. I hope there's nothing else in my house now.
All right. So, guys, what are you watching these days? You know what? Let's start right off with our weeklies.
All right.
Let's start with Stargirl. For the big technically last week would have been the big episode, huh?
Yeah, and it was kind of like, I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, this show is not like Emmy material, like everything else on broadcast TV, apparently. But it certainly it didn't. I don't know. I just wasn't overjoyed. I watched it today. It was fine. It was a filler episode. Kind of hard to do that when you have such a short season, but it was a filler episode.
Definitely. Just kind of teenage angsty. Yeah. So yeah, moving on.
On that note.
And I am completely caught up from, being out of town for 3 days last week and not being able to watch anything. I've caught up on everything. But Walking Dead. Now I know what you're talking about when you said the Daryl episode. So
yep.
Holy shit. It was a face I wasn't expecting to see again.
Yeah.
I guess I should have expected it when you spend that much time with one character in an episode that she's going to pop back up somewhere.
Well, Angela Kang said she was going to come back.
Okay. I don't do all that other stuff, so I don't.
You don't do Angela Kang?
No, I've never had the opportunity.
I don't know if I would either. She's got some big ass teeth. I don't want to pick on people for their facial features, but man, I mean, she's not a weird looking woman. Okay. I'm going to get so much crap for this. I'm not saying she's not a beautiful woman or anything, but every time she comes on and she's got the huge, gigantic smile and all this white, I mean, you could like, those teeth could be like Texas or Oklahoma. There's so much white there. It's just huge. And every time she comes on, my wife and I are both like, she is just a very odd looking woman. I've probably put both feet in my mouth. I'm sorry. That did not go as well as I'd hoped.
It's funny. You start and finish the night talking about teeth.
Yeah. Maybe it was meant to be. I don't feel so bad anymore.
It was by design. Yeah. He meant that. Perfect.
I was surprised that she is a Reaper.
I wasn't surprised. I really wasn't surprised. She seems maybe kind of like, I wouldn't say a follower. She just seems like she's kind of in it for herself. She's trying to find anybody that will help her survive.
But up to this point, though, we've been kind of conditioned to believe that the Reapers are some bad mofos. People that just come in and wipe people out and take whatever they want. We don't know that that's what happened with Maggie's group, but that's the way Maggie and her group portrayed them.
Right.
So, I mean, for all we know, Maggie's group could have instigated it.
True.
But up to this point, even what we've seen, Reapers are some bad mofos, and to just, kill a bunch of people for no other reason than they're walking on the wrong street. That's a tough group to be a part of. Not to mention the fact that your leader just, stomped somebody's head into a fire.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And now, like, did I put two and two together with it? Like, do they seem to be mostly like a former military unit?
Oh no, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The primary members are. So the leader, and there's a few people, including what's her name? Her name was Leah. Leia. So there's a few members of the original. Well, they're a bunch of mercenaries, is what they ended up being, but they were spec ops. They flew to strange
Middle
places
East.
and did things to people that they weren't supposed to. And when they came home, they didn't have the ability to take real jobs, so they became mercenaries. So these are people uniquely capable of living at all costs.
Right.
So the fact that a group like this exists doesn't surprise me one bit. The fact that they've gone a little bit apocalypse now also doesn't surprise me one bit. That's exactly who I compare the leader to, is that the guy in the jungle there that what the hell was the main character?
Hurts.
Yeah, that they were sent to kill there. CIA that went native, but it's exactly what it seemed to me. But I mean, be some bad people to mess
Yeah.
with.
You know what I didn't understand about their motivation, though, and maybe I just haven't gotten it, is you understand the Whisperers. They're fucking crazy.
Mhm.
Okay. You understand, Negan's people, because they have a philosophy of like just going out and taking. With these Reapers, it doesn't feel the same as Negan.
Right.
It doesn't feel like they're going out for the same reasons. Like they could just as easily be like, hey, we're the badasses. We're going to help protect the settlements around here.
Yeah.
And people share stuff. It seems like they could. I guess I don't understand, like going back to Maggie's people walking down the road, why they're so brutal, why they have to be like that. I mean, clearly nobody can fuck with them. They have plenty of resources.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. I mean, you're right. Why just attack random people?
So I have a feeling they recognize Maggie in that instance at night. Or maybe not, but maybe they'd mark their territory in such a way as that they felt other people should know. I'm with you though, Hugh. I mean, at this point in the game, we're how many years down the road of being in this environment, and people are convinced that other people are just bad from the very beginning. And I think we're seeing on their group the exact same thing we're seeing in our Alexandria group. You assume the worst until you can prove the best. Although they're a lot more violent when they assume the worst.
Like they're not looking to prove the best. They're assuming the worst, and then everyone's dead.
Yeah,
Right.
And that's isn't that, it's kind of like when you have a psycho guided by God individual. There is nobody else that can meet your ideals.
It's just, why is nobody going like, hey, those people over there who's their entire town got wrecked, we should bring them in because we need to make babies. I mean,
yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah,
there are so many things that these groups could be doing. Because mankind is on the precipice. It always surprises me that nobody thinks of that.
Most of the yin and the yang, right? You've got Commonwealth on one side, and you've got the Reapers on the other.
Yeah, and the Commonwealth.
Oh,
It looks like Eugene done fucked up.
What's funny is I had to read online afterwards. I did not pick this up from the episode, but what's his girlfriend's name? The girl he likes?
Stephanie.
The Stephanie that he's walking around with is not Stephanie. She's an imposter. Did you guys catch that?
No.
I thought
the girl with the ice cream at the ice cream shop or stop, that was Stephanie. The Commonwealth picked up they picked up his story when he told them about it, and they sent in a fake Stephanie to learn more about him. And apparently we were supposed to get that. And I didn't. Because of the way she reacted when he said, do they have Rocky Road? Because I guess that was something they talked
Oh,
about.
wait a minute.
on the radio.
The girl that was picking up the ice cream, or the girl that was
Yes.
serving?
Yeah,
it?
the black girl, right?
Yeah, the girl that was picking it up.
Yeah, she
How
gave her
the-
it was like the tray of ice cream cones.
Yeah, they're picking
I
up.
thought. See, now you say that now. I had a feeling that she wasn't the real Stephanie when they first met, and I thought that was the girl because she kind of looked at him, stared at him a little bit like, you should know who I am, and then kind of walked away. She didn't say anything to him because I think
Wow.
he would have picked up the voice.
How now,
Over radio though.
Hugh? How do you know that what you were being told is true?
Multiple sources, dude. I just look
How do they know though? How do they know for a fact? I want to know this for a fact.
It's not
that I don't believe you. I want to believe you. I just want to know that it's a fact.
that's what the internet says.
It makes perfect sense though. It makes perfect sense that she's a plant, and it makes perfect sense. And the fact that she's a cute little white girl, and he's a white guy, the whole it's perfect. It's a perfect little. She's a kind of a geeky little girl. So the fact that she's a plant, not even a little bit surprising. Not even a little bit surprising. Huh.
And I think that's the reason why they're not going to charge them with anything. Like they were going to go in there, they were going to be sentenced and sent off in the middle of nowhere.
Because aren't these the guys that are looking for the alphas? Isn't Commonwealth the one that took Rick?
I know that's a different group.
That's the three circles there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So who are they?
World Beyond. No,
No.
World Fear.
They're
Fear.
Hmm?
Both shows. Yeah.
No, they have a name. It's and
They do. You're right. I can't remember.
the group, the community is called something.
Yeah. But I'm not saying that they don't have some connection to the Commonwealth, but so far in show, there's no evidence that they are the Commonwealth. But I have to imagine with the resources they have, they know each other. They're big dogs.
Right.
Well, they have similar weaponry. It's not exactly the same, but it's very similar.
Yep.
Rifles with bayonets on them. I mean, the
No,
other
it could
group-
turn out they're the same. I don't recall seeing a direct connection between the two yet.
But that would easily explain why they're interested in Eugene's group, because obviously the Eugene's group has some intelligence. They had the ability to create radios. They had the ability to create a community. So the fact that they would want to bring them in or know more about them, I could see that.
Or wipe them out.
Well, I don't think that's the Commonwealth's goal. I think the Commonwealth is exactly who you were talking about before. They're the people that want to bring people in that are the right people,
Yes.
right? To grow the world back to the way it was. The opposite of the Reapers.
I don't know about that, because what about is it Yumiko? Her brother?
Yeah. Well, right. No. Well, whoever's image of the way the world, should
Right.
be brought back to. Right. No, I'm definitely with you there, because it's a very, very weird.
Yeah, because he obviously he's a surgeon and he's working in a bakery. So why doesn't he want them to know and when she started talking about it, he shut her down right away. It was like, no, don't. Are we trying to run people's lives?
Well, maybe it's just because he really does want to be a baker, and if they find out he's a surgeon, they'll make him be a surgeon.
Right.
That makes me believe that it's the same group, because these alphas, they all disappear. They all go somewhere. The people that are the brightest and the smartest and the most capable of rebuilding society, they take them to, if Commonwealth that we're seeing is, Happy Village, maybe there's a city somewhere that has, all the smart people and they're building, golden temples or something. I don't know.
Maybe in Ithaca.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if we could find some of this out, but I have a feeling that going into the rest of this final season, shit's probably going to be kind of a mess, because we're past the point where, why even make the Rick Grimes movie now? Do you even care? I don't care.
No.
It's if they had done it like they said they would, it would have been fucking awesome. Now I don't see how you bring him back for the end of the show, but still do the movies. The way it needed to end was him do his movies, and either he dies there or he comes back for the last episode of the show. unless they extend, use Daryl and Carol's show and maybe some other spinoffs, and then there's kind of like a second epilogue to the main show at some point. But I mean, I kind of feel like, if you're not going to kill off Rick when you had the chance, you kind of have to end all of it with him.
Mm-hmm.
Just my 2 cents.
Was Rick Grimes still alive when they ended the comic books?
No,
No.
he died. He died in the final issue.
Oh, in the final issue. So that
No. It was the issue before, wasn't it?
No, he was shot once in the issue before. He got shot 2 more times in the opening panels of the final issue. So then he was, because you were left going, how's he going to survive a gunshot to the chest? And then you open up the first, he's like, wait. It's like, oh, he's not surviving that.
I thought that the last issue is when it opened up with Carl finding him as a zombie.
Well, no, that happened later in the issue. It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't open with that. No, they left it on a cliffhanger. I mean, it really looks like he's going to die, but I mean, come on, he's been shot and stabbed and his hand cut off. I mean, you don't think Rick Grimes is going to die? It was a shock.
Right. Yeah.
I hadn't read the comic books. I just heard that it ended the way it started.
They can't even do that story anymore, though, because now the only character that maybe you could pull that off with is you have to have Judith survive to the end. She has to kill somebody she cares about, but I don't know if Denai Guerrero is going to be around to play Michonne. Okay, you're not killing Rick because he still has to make these movies they haven't started filming yet. You could try to replace Daryl or Carol in there, but now you can't because they got their own show coming afterwards. There's nobody to go with the original end that's going to have the impact it did. The impact was Carl ended up having to kill his dad and then skip ahead 15 years, and there he is with his wife and his daughter, and he's telling her the story of his dad and how he changed the world and helped get us back on the right path. He's a hero now. I don't see how they can do that. They've written themselves into a point where there's no way they can use even a bastardation of that story because all the characters are taken up.
What if she kills her brother?
What?
What if she kills her brother?
But her brother has no impact. I mean, he's a freaking toddler.
No, I know, but I mean, you said it's got to be somebody she cares about. I mean,
well,
yeah, but it's got to be somebody
that's had an impact
that the show cares about.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it works so well in the comics. Your main character dies and then it closes with a flash forward. I mean, he's reading from a book, the story of Rick Grimes. Like they publish books about his dad. Nice. And he's reading it to her because she never got to meet him. I don't think nobody can die right now that they would write books about in the Commonwealth 15 years from now.
Yeah, they're in kind of a quandary with that. They just have to have their own ending, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Isn't that one of the reasons Kirkman sued AMC because of how badly they changed the story and how they basically wrote him out of it?
No, it was all about royalties, about gaming the book so it looked like the show wasn't profitable. Had nothing to do with it. It's the same thing that Darabont sued him for. Like when he won, everyone else started doing their lawsuits as well. But yeah, no, nothing to do with the story.
Oh,
all right.
So what about Maggie and Negan?
That's going about as I expected.
I groaned when he's like, yeah, we got to leave. And she looks like she's considering maybe he's right. And then they fucking
the door
show
opens
up of all times. I'm like,
yeah.
I thought for a second that they, this is weird, but they might like kiss.
Yeah, I hope not. Yeah. I hope they don't go that direction. There's way too much.
I don't want to go that direction either, but it seemed like that palpable tension was there.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be seeing that.
I don't either, but I'm just saying.
And then, you've got what happened at Hilltop.
Yes. Yeah. When we find out there's a cell of whisperers in hiding there. As far as we know, they're in hiding.
Yeah, so. Those people are just confused. They don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, I don't see that playing out much farther than it did.
No. I'm glad Connie's coming back. The hell's her? What's the actress's name? I follow
I don't
her on
know.
Instagram,
I don't know.
too.
She's gonna be in the
She's
Eternals.
awesome. She's an awesome.
That's why she hasn't been. That's why she hasn't been around. She's been filming that.
Let me tell you, because I'm a week forward in time from you guys. The next episode is fucking awesome, and it's straight up OG horror, haunted house, original Resident Evil 1, the game, not the movie type horror, and it's
Awesome.
not all zombies.
Cool.
It's
Cool.
fucking awesome.
I'm
Good.
looking forward to that. So what you're telling me is Kristen's gonna watch it like this?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably, I think, one of the best bottle episodes they've done. I mean, it's not all bottle. They touch on the other stories, but that one particular story concerning Connie, holy crap! Not
Nice.
something I'd ever see on this show. And they could do an entire movie based on just that part of that episode.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Looking forward to that one.
Yep. Looking forward to that.
All right. Let's move on. Do we want to skip over What If since we know not
Mhm.
everybody's gotten to watch it?
You can go
I
do
don't
it. I
think-
don't care.
Is it worth talking about? I mean, it was an okay episode, but
It was just fun. It was nice
Yeah.
that it was a lighthearted episode after the few dark ones we just got. Like it was definitely more of a jokey episode. It was a good time, and it was basically like it was a refresher after the intense ones we've gotten for the last few weeks. And Thor was a lot of fun in it. That's all I gotta say. So yeah, it's definitely not integral to anything, but it was a good time. And
I will tell you though, man, did they get Brie Larson's facial expressions right or
yes, yes, yeah.
Even
because
though she
Captain
didn't
Marvel factors quite a bit
Yeah.
in this one.
what? Yeah, even though she didn't do the voice, I was
Yeah.
just like watching the animation. I mean, all these are really good at capturing the faces, with the exception of Jeff Goldblum in this episode. They did
Yes.
a really good job there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, holy crap! Like, did they mocap her and have her act this?
Yeah, that was a big hit in my household too. That
I'm sure.
Captain Marvel was quite a bit, kind of a big deal in that one. So, and finally in the weeklies is Heels.
All I gotta say is I was so impressed that not only did Mick Foley show up, but that he changed his voice for the role.
I saw that because I saw a clip from it today.
Yeah, I mean, that's not so, he's not really an actor. So
Right.
to see him change his voice to play this character, I thought was really neat and really, it didn't take me out of it, but it was just, I don't know. My radar was like, what? Whoa, that's cool.
And the fact that he was a podcaster. So
Yeah.
Former
Uh,
wrestler.
yep. Yeah. And just the bit that I saw, really well done. Like the discussion he's having with Jack.
Yeah.
And the big news that came out of Heels this week, they released the first 3 episodes for free. You can find them on YouTube and a few other places apparently. Stephen Amell went on Facebook Live early in the week and was announcing that it was happening. Like, here you go. We're super, proud of what we've done. So we want you to check these 3 out. Basically, it's a hook is what it is. Here's the
Yeah.
first 3 episodes. Get hooked in it. Now you'll come pay for stars. Don't blame them one bit. I'm going to, by next week, I should come back and tell you I've watched all 3 episodes. So, and then
Nice.
probably say that I've also subscribed to the Stars app. So I'll be caught up, but we'll see how that works out.
I get the impression that Mick Foley's character maybe was supposed to be Jim Cornette, just like
Yeah.
Wild Bill clearly is modeled after Ric Flair, especially with all the stuff from Dark Side of the Ring. That airplane scene brings a lot of comparison to light now. But now I'm like looking at all of these characters they bring in and trying to figure out which real wrestlers they're modeled after.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's funny you mentioned Dark Side of the Ring. I actually watched that episode. Because that was what they teased when they first were coming out with season 3, was the plane ride from hell. The plane ride from hell. So I was like, so this was the very first episode of season 3. They talked about this plane ride from I guess from like England or whatever.
London.
Yeah, it was like it was supposed to be a 8-hour flight or something like that. They rented a jumbo jet, like a 757, but it was retrofitted. It had all first class seating.
Oh, nice.
So that so they had like first class seating, which is where like Jim Ross and everybody, and apparently Vince McMahon, because he's now claiming he wasn't on the flight.
Other people are claiming it for him too.
Yeah,
Jonathan
so
Coachman and a few other people.
I doubt that he actually was on that flight. I'm pretty sure at that time he probably had his own plane that DX hadn't screwed up yet. So, but yeah, some of the stuff that happened on that plane, I mean, I get it. I mean, it's like a fraternity, and these guys treat it like a fraternity. I mean, they rip on each other. Apparently, they were roofing each other.
Jesus.
Brock Lesnar and Kurt Hennig got into a huge fight on a plane. They thought they were gonna. They
wrestle.
They thought they were gonna go through the side of the plane.
Jesus.
That's how hard they were slamming each other into the windows. And
yeah, and it was all about them bragging about who was a better amateur wrestler, right?
No, it was about the fact that Kurt Hennig put shaving cream on Brock Lesnar's head, according to the TV, according to the Dark Side of the Ring. Like Kurt Hennig apparently was a real big prankster.
Mm-hmm.
And so Brock Lesnar had fallen asleep, and they were ripping. So they put shaving cream on his head and like slapped him in the head or whatever. And they chased him around. Now they chased him around a plane. It's not like you can go very far,
right?
But yeah, apparently, X-Pac cut off Michael Hayes' ponytail.
Mullet, yes.
Yep.
Because Hayes punched JBL. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, just walked up and punched him.
Mm-hmm.
Just for shits and giggles. The big thing was the Ric Flair apparently his big thing is to don his robe and nothing else and come out of the bathroom, and apparently he's rather well endowed.
Or as Tommy Dreamer put it, he's got a hammer.
Yeah. And he can twirl his hammer.
If I had a hammer.
Apparently. And apparently that's what he was doing. And apparently he cornered a stewardess and made her touch his hammer. So, I mean, obviously, don't know how much of it is true and how much isn't. Obviously, because, you weren't there. But, I mean, from what I gathered, I mean, they drank. Apparently they emptied the cart of all the alcohol and drank it all before they got off the ground.
So look, 3 times they had to have a third liquor cart delivered.
Yeah.
Before they got off the ground, they emptied
because they were apparently getting ready to taxi and ended up sitting on the runway either for bad weather or something for an additional like 7 hours. And so they started drinking while they were on the ground and had to refill the cart twice.
That's just not good.
No. So yeah, it apparently got pretty bad. So
I kind of feel, and this is going to sound bad because you're not allowed to say this, but I'm going to come out and say it anyway because I don't care. I get why people are mad at Tommy Dreamer for defending Ric Flair, but I got to tell you, the way I heard his comments were very simply, I'm friends with Rick. I've traveled the world with him. I don't think that he would do something like that, and I don't think that was his intention. I've never seen him be sexual. People are saying he was defending Ric Flair, and yes, he was, but you have to look at the words that are said, and in the context of what he's saying, I don't think he was saying Ric Flair wouldn't do that. She's lying. It sounded to me like he's saying, what I know of Ric Flair, I find it really hard to believe that's what happened.
Right.
Now he did follow it up with, if it really happened, she shouldn't have taken the payoff and sued him. And that probably wasn't the best thing to follow it up with. But again, I mean, you can lend some legitimacy to that statement. But yeah, I feel like, should he have maybe gotten a little shit for it? Sure. I don't think he should have lost his job, suspended from Impact Wrestling. Yeah, he got suspended from Impact Wrestling for his comments.
I thought he chose to not come to the tapings.
No, he got suspended.
Oh, that's a different story.
And I mean, I that's maybe why I feel that. Should he have gotten some shit on Twitter? Maybe okay. It wasn't exactly sensitive, but I don't think it was a lose your job kind of offense.
Right.
Because I mean, there's a really fine line here, and I think they're taking it as he said it like this when he meant it like this. He's real close to crossing that line, but I don't feel like he did. And I'm not like a huge Tommy Dreamer fan or a Ric Flair fan. I'm not trying to defend them. It's just watching the show. That's how I interpreted it. And when I saw the next day that he had been suspended, I was like, what? And I had to go back because I'm like, I don't remember him saying anything that bad.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He got suspended over comments about something somebody else did 20 years ago.
Welcome to 2021.
Yeah.
You're suspended for saying that.
So let's keep this moving. Hugh, you said there was something you wanted to talk about.
I just wanted to bring up. I caught on the Peacock streaming service, Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol. It's an extension of the Robert Langdon franchise. Tom Hanks played Robert Langdon in several movies, The Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons, I believe.
Yes.
I just wanted to get my impression. It seems like it's a decent show, full of puzzles. It's exactly what you would expect it to be. Actor wise, they've got Eddie Izzard in there, which immediately means I love it because anything he's in, I adore. The cute girl from The Following, I have no idea what her name was, but she keeps popping up and stuff. The guy they have playing Langdon, he's a little young. I think this might be, earlier in his career. I actually kind of like him better than Tom Hanks. I mean, Tom Hanks is great, but every time he's in a movie, he's still Tom Hanks. And I had read both of those books before they even started making movies. And the Langdon I saw in my head was a lot different than Tom Hanks. Now, he did a great job, but he's not who I would have cast. This guy's more in line with my headcanon. But check it out if you're into that kind of thing. It's got, puzzles and symbolism and secret societies and all that kind of shit. Looks like it's going to be a fun show.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out as well.
There's only one episode out so far, so I can't really give you much more than that.
Right. And now Peacock, is that a free one or is that?
Well, it's. I think they might have some stuff you can watch for free. I think,
but
maybe.
It's a subscription
No?
base.
Nothing at all.
No.
Okay, yeah, it's NBC's streaming service.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you can get some of the Paramount stuff on there too. Somebody I know watched Yellowstone on there.
Yep.
So
cool.
There's another one for you to watch, Paul. For Supernatural.
Oh,
right.
Interesting thing came up this week. So at the Emmys, the last week tonight with John Oliver won several awards. Did anyone watch the Emmys? Okay. Well, they had to do several acceptance speeches. One of the acceptance speeches, they chose one of the staff writers. It was a woman. I forget what her name is. Maybe Rebecca something. She is the wife of one of the friends of one of the guys I work with.
Oh, cool.
Really
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's neat.
Nice.
Kevin.
Me? My turn?
You. What do you want to talk to us about?
So we, watch Talking Dead after The Walking Dead. That's what you have to do. That's the way I live my life. Not a quarter mile at a time, as some people think, but you got to watch Talking Dead. So what did we see on the last Talking Dead? Jeffrey Dean Morgan's wife, Hillary Burton Morgan, talking about her new show, true crime story. It Couldn't Happen Here. Now, let me read you a little bit about what this is. Now, it's on Amazon Prime, and what it says here, little blurb, small town native, and I'm going to get back to that in a second. This is pretty cool. And advocate Hillary Burton Morgan puts a spotlight on murder cases from small towns across America. She meets with family members and local insiders to explore each unique story and the impact and challenges of small town justice. Story number one was about Adel, Georgia, very small town in Georgia. Story number two, Sequoia, New York, Oneida County.
Oh, no
Wow.
kidding.
more specifically Whitesboro area, New York.
Okay.
Guess who lives in Whitesboro, New York?
The Morgans?
They sure do.
No kidding. Very cool. Is that where they have the candy shop that they own with Ant-Man?
Good question. Don't know. I
Okay.
don't know anything about that.
All right.
What?
You said with Ant-Man?
Yeah. Paul Rudd and Jeffrey Dean Morgan co-own a candy shop together somewhere in upstate New York. Yeah.
Well,
It's in Richmond.
yeah, this is I don't know if one of them grew up in this area or what the case may be, but they definitely decided to settle this area because they both wanted to live and raise their child. They have a boy together. And I don't know if they've only been together since 2009, and the kid is, well, I guess that kind of works because he's old enough. He was an extra in this last episode of The Walking Dead.
Oh no.
So yeah, he was the child that's sticking his head through the wall. They were teasing. The kids were teasing, and then Judith had to come over and right the wrong, I guess, or whatever she was doing with her little pig sticker.
She was telling them to get the vaccine, so they start trying to stick their hand in zombies' mouths. That's
right. Exactly right, and it didn't work. Backfired on her. Anyway, so maybe he is both of their sons, but they've been together since 2009. They've been married. I don't know. They haven't been married that long. But it's pretty cool. I think they're neighbors of ours, so to speak. And this show, it was really good.
Yeah.
My wife loves these stories. She's got all these different podcasts she listens to: true crime, small town murder, crime and sports. I don't know if you've heard of that one. It's a lot of these, sports personalities, football players, basketball players, could be anything, and hockey players, and what they've done and what they've gotten away with, what they haven't gotten away with. Pretty great stuff. My only worry about all this, and it is really good, very entertaining. My only worry about this is she's learning an awful lot about how to kill people and hide bodies.
She's planning her retirement without you.
Well, she's learning all the ways not to do things.
Right.
Eventually, she's going to figure out how to do it.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Right. So anyway, very good. I highly suggest it. She is exactly the person you would think. If you haven't seen Talking Dead, you haven't seen on Talking Dead. Oh, one more thing. She also played Negan's wife in the flashback.
The origin
Here's
episode.
Negan.
Yep, the origin story. So
Nice.
That was her, and she's phenomenal. She's exactly who you would think Jeffrey Dean Morgan's wife would be. And if you've ever seen him outside of The Walking Dead, like in Rides with Norman Reedus or any of the other stuff he's done,
Or Supernatural.
Oh, he's in Supernatural?
He's their father. Yeah.
Now I'll watch Supernatural.
Yeah.
Yeah. Corbs is gonna too.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Great stuff. So I just want to throw that out there.
Very nice. Did you guys see that they dropped the trailer for Disney Plus's Hawkeye?
Yeah. That
Looks
was
pretty cool.
interesting.
Yeah.
Not what I expected.
Yeah, it wasn't what I expected either.
Yeah. It's apparently it's going to play off from however Black Widow ends. It has
looks
something
like
to do with that. It looks like there's going to be a lot of that, which is surprising, but apparently something that, and I haven't seen Black Widow yet. Something
I
that
know
happens in
exactly
there.
what they're talking about.
Okay. Well, whatever it is that springboards from that is what rolls into his show.
And what's interesting is I know what it is because it's in the end credits, but they didn't give that away in the trailer at all. And as I'm watching the trailer, I'm like, but wait, I thought, because it was blaringly obvious that's where it's going.
Yeah.
So you have no idea what it is, even after watching the trailer.
Right. But yeah, that looks like it's gonna be another good one for Disney Plus. But yeah, sorry, I'm just saving files as we go. Yeah, that looks really cool. Which will be linked to in the show notes since I haven't mentioned them yet. This one. Does anybody have anything else? Because I have one last midstream to discuss before we wrap this thing up. No?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. So it's not often that Kristen actually requests to watch something. And that actually happened this past week. She wanted to watch Cruella. Are you guys all familiar with Cruella?
I know what it is.
It's the origin story for the villain from 101 Dalmatians. Interesting movie, takes place in the 70s. You get to see how this young lady grows up to be a young adult who calls herself Cruella. The best thing I can say about that movie is it had a great soundtrack, like all sorts of really great 70s rock. So it wasn't a bad movie. Like, I went into it cringing, thinking that it was gonna really suck, but it wasn't bad. Yes, Corbs just found the name of that candy shop. It's Samuel's Sweet Shop. That's the one that's owned by Paul Rudd and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, as we were saying.
And that is that in Hillsborough or
It's in Rhinebeck.
Oh, Rhinebeck. Okay.
Sorry.
Not a problem. But that's all. I just wanted to mention that we watched that and it wasn't horrible. It's now regularly streaming on Disney Plus. Check it out. Also coming soon to Disney Plus for regular is going to be Black Widow coming October 6th. So after that I'll know what you're talking about, Hugh.
So wait, on October 6th, I can watch it for free?
Well, for your regular Disney Plus subscription, yes.
So I can watch it for free?
Yes.
All right.
Well, no, unless you're getting Disney Plus for free.
It's not
Yeah.
free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, there you
my ex, I have hers. So
Yes. So I mean that's all I've really got, and I'm ready to drop some wisdom nuggets if you guys are ready to wrap this thing up.
Let's do it.
All right. Walt Disney gave people unrealistic expectations on how many dogs you should own. Good night, everybody, and megabyte me, bitches.
This has been a GeekPod Network production.